Otherwise, I don't mind. As long as we are able to talk about things, that's another thing, actually, maybe I can mention is, even if I disagree with you, Terry, I want us to agree to disagree and leave it at that. That's me and you don't find each other on this part. We disagree with each other. The only problem that I start to have, especially with the Jesus people, is that they want you to accept everything that they are, or that they believe. They want you to be that too and accept it with them. But that's not me, though. That's you thing, right? Yes. But then if you want me now to be you and be that thing with you, that's another thing that I would say, But I don't have things that I would feel like maybe have gotten to a point whereby I would say that I turn off, because I feel like in a relationship we should be able to talk about things no matter how much we disagree. Because anyway, you always gonna have, even if you go to a next person, there's always gonna be something whereby you don't find each other. So I like to table things. If someone is able to talk, then we're good.
I like that response. I think if us as people, thought about things more, I think maybe we would be happier in our relationship.
Maybe, true. But people, sometimes they don't want to, because people have non-negotiables, I would say, and then they don't want them to even have a conversation with you about things, and then they want you to be those things that they are non-negotiable for them, but you are not that, but they still want you, but they still have this thing that they don't want to negotiate about or talk about. And that's where I have problems, where people come in with things that they carry and then they want another person to be that. Nah.
Yeah, that is true. You can't force someone to be something that they're not.
Yeah, true.
Then you must just go on else.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. For the next one, it's a bit reflective.
Yeah.
So if you could go in time, what would you do better in terms of a relationship? And, there could be even something about yourself. What could you do better for yourself?
Oh, I'm perfect. In your relationship? Can't change anything. I'm amazing. I'm joking. Oh, my goodness. Okay. I would say one mistake maybe that I made. I don't think as much as at least things turned up well for me and they worked out, but I would still regard this as a fault, though, in my experiences, in a relationship, is I actually I actually wanted. It's almost like I came into a relationship with a plan, right? And then I want the person to fit a plan. And the person doesn't want that plan. They never had a plan. They don't. And I've noticed this thing in my experience. I have to be specific, guys. I'm sorry to say this, but black women hate plans, bro. I don't know why. In my experience, I'm talking about people that have dated. They hate plans. They don't want to plan anything. They just want us to just live and experience life, And for me, for the most part, I have targets. I know where I'm gonna be, when, and stuff like that. So in the relationship that I had, the longest relationship in my life was 5 years. It lasted for 5 years, actually. That relationship nearly killed me. Wow. But anyway, so in that relationship, I structured my life. I was thinking of my life around the person. Do you see? I didn't see my life outside the person. So everything about me was structured around the person. Okay, I want to study, finish my degree. After my degree, I need to find a job. That was me. Everything was around the person that I'm with, because I'm seeing my life with that person. So I'm planning things with the person, not with them there with me, but in my life. I'm planning my life with them in that life. You see? Now, what if the person is not there? What if they change and they don't want to be in a relationship with you anymore? What if they choose someone else? They have whatever that happens in relationships. Then what? So I would say that's the biggest fault that I would say I blame myself, actually only myself, actually, on this one. That I allowed myself to be like that. And I noted this very later on when as I date, that actually the biggest issue is me having a plan, knowing where I'm going and coming with a plan to people who don't have plans. And maybe sometimes they don't know where they're going yet. And then you want to fit them into your plan. Do you see? Exactly, because it's okay, some things that I've realized actually, that sounds stupid. For an example, when you say out loud, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's where we come from and stuff like that. Talking to a black guy, elokishini, othandana nentombazane elokishini, and the guy is saying, yo, mina ngifuna ukuba nama-million, mina ngifuna ukwenza million, and this is my plan to make that million. It's almost like it's okay when we just say it, but not do it. You see, yeah. So I feel like that's where the issue also was, because I always knew I wanted to have money, but maybe not this much as I have now. But I always knew that's the life I wanted to live and what I want to do, to a certain extent, Although I wasn't sure exactly the exact thing that I'm gonna do, but I just knew that's like I want to do something about my life and I want to do this, and I'm serious about doing those things. And it just never worked though with other people, because other people don't necessarily aspire to the same things, or even if they aspire to the same things, they're just not willing to work towards them like in your way. They might have their own plan that is different from yours. So for me, that's a big one for me that I had, planning my life around another person. The worst thing you can do for your life. You're the worst. Never do that, kids. Stupid.
Yeah.
It's dumb, bruh.
No, I agree. And sometimes you never know, that person can just leave you like now, and you become so shattered because you've literally made this person like a priority.
Of course, that's what would happen, because you prioritize them, you put everything. Yeah, that's what will happen, especially because they become key to the plan working out. Hey, bro, yeah. So definitely.
Now I hear you. Thank you for sharing that, because I feel like I can understand what you're saying. Okay, do you want to go on to the next question?
Yeah, you can.
So what do you feel like? What are the things that make dating so difficult these days? Like let's say the last 5 years. What has come up that has just made things so difficult, like for us in our generation to date?
Okay, now this Mina personally, this is what I realized. It's actually to find someone to date, especially if you have money. And I'm sorry to say this, but I do have money. If you have money, to find someone to date, is not hard, actually. It's not hard. The problem though, to find a partner, like someone that's different. That's a different game. To find someone to just have sex with, or pointless things that are not going anywhere. Oh, poison. Come on now. We can do this now, live, and still find a person. That's just like, bruh, it's so easy. That's the thing. The relationships now, I feel like they lack substance. It's not like where people used to date for targeted things, like whereby people will say, yo, okay, we love each other, let's actually work on something. Things are not, for whatever reason, I feel like in our generation, things are just not as important anymore. Like, yo, bruh, things are just not important to us. Yeah, life is just, everything is just whatever it is. It's just things that are just not as important. We don't think things like that, I feel like people we hardly, like now, we lack that. If you think about it, Terry, how many weddings have you been to in the last 5 years? Bruh. Only one. Exactly. I'm sure even if you were to count people that that have gotten married, they're not that many. Probably 5 couples or something like that. Like it's just not happening, bruh. Like it's not the same, because we just don't have the same values. I will say also there is no same drive, and there's so many contributing factors to that, right? It's just change in the market, like from what people are looking for now in relationships has changed, because we know now. The reason I was asking you about money, because that's a big deal now. Yo, bro, it's a make or break thing now. Like people will tell you, oh, bro, I'm about the moolah, bro. I ain't about to date a broke nigga. Like girls will tell you live now that this is what it's about, divorce things, divorce are very high. Cheating, lying, men not being responsible, women not being responsible too. Like it's a lot of things. It's just the game is just not the same. Yeah, I would say that's just one thing. Like, it's just not the same anymore. Like, we don't have those values, you know. Yeah, I would say that.
Yes. I like what you said is that there's a lack of substance. I think
Ye-
that's so true.
Of course, well, bruh, as I'm telling you right now, bruh, to find someone to sleep with is easier than to find someone to be in a
Yes,
relationship with. Trust me,
yes,
especially if there is money involved. I can tell you this. I know this for sure. It's different, bruh. Like, it's different. It's not longer the, our grandmothers and them, all these things that they had to do. If you think about, if you look at the things, the
yes,
struggles they were going through, like at the times of apartheid and what's not, whatever this was going through, they were going through back then. No cell phones to call your partner. We have better communication. You would think our lives would be better in terms of relationships. On paper, they should be better if you think about them on paper, right? Compared to people who wouldn't see their wives for 6 months because they are in a war